Salute Knicks Nation. The streets are buzzing tonight as the Knicks hold off the Pelicans in a furious comeback, right? A 20-point turnaround in that third quarter, and it was Jalen Brunson night tonight, man. Brunson Burner returned. He was on it tonight. He said, we ain't losing this one. And as the Knicks suffered a fatigued first half, they came out in that third quarter and said, we ain't losing this one. And Jalen Brunson finished with 39 points as the Knicks win 104-93 and continue their winning ways, fam. Salute Knicks Nation. Let's talk about this ball game and give out the game ball to JB tonight, man. He had our backs as Karl-Anthony Towns had some foul trouble, but JB came vintage tonight, man. MVP last year's performance. And I'm just happy that the Knicks gritted this one out because, yeah, it was a really poor first half. Credit to the New Orleans Pelicans defense, right? They haven't won they've won one game in their last 14, and they've been, they came out desperate tonight to get a win. And the Knicks almost gave them one in that first half, but they came correct, man. And Karl-Anthony Towns had some foul trouble, 3 fouls in that first half, and he had to sit for a lengthy period of time. But the Jericho show also came to play tonight. Jericho Sims, man, unsung hero from tonight, fam. As Chance says, character win. Absolutely, man. Definitely. I think, you can't win every game by a blowout, even though it did end up a blowout late. But this one was a lot closer. And I think as a team, Mikal Bridges, really good defense as well. We gritted out OG Anunoby, Hart battled to help the Knicks get back into this one as well. And obviously the Pelicans just don't have enough, right? As we're going to vote for our All-Stars tonight. I got the link in the chat. Today votes count for 3 times as well. So get on it and vote for your New York Knicks for that All-Star berth, fam. As the Knicks go 18-10 on the season. It was great ball movement. The assists were up tonight as well. And, we buckled down on the defensive side, right? When Tibbs called the timeout, when the Knicks went down 13, after that, we really locked down and the Pelicans went cold, right? Herb Jones, Trey Murphy tried their best. Willie Green was having them play trap Brunson, play zone. All of those things was really running amok in that first half. But the Knicks adjusted with that and got fast break buckets as well. To Daniel Berry, and we've got Paula and Johnny in the building. Buzzer beater says Brunson A++ game. It was vintage tonight, man. And the refs as well. I think the refs adjusted, to their credit, definitely called the game a lot tighter in the second half. But the first half was woeful, as we saw Tibbs get really frustrated, especially when, we weren't able to challenge that foul on JB when it was supposed to be free throws as he was going up when he was fouled too. But we're going to touch on some stats and then we'll give out the grades. But OG Anunoby, man, the New York Knicks are now 38-13. You heard correctly, 38-13 with OG Anunoby as a New York Knick in the lineup, man. That is insane in terms of winning percentage, right? And we continue to be a force with him in the lineup as well. The New York Knicks coming in as the 5th best team in the league with 5th net rating. We are 2nd in offense by 0.4% behind Cleveland. And we're coming into tonight's game with the 15th best defense. So we are league average right now with the defense moving up, right? Moving up. And we're going to touch on the box score and give out these grades. But these are the numbers for you all. Jazzman G Money. What's up, Daryl? Blessings, health, happiness to everyone out here. I hope you're enjoying the festive season. And if not, then the New York Knicks are going to make you definitely feel a lot better about things. Obviously, now we're on a streak. I think 3 games since losing to Atlanta. We're beating Orlando. We're beating Minnesota. And we've obviously beaten New Orleans tonight. We have the Raptors next up, man, on Monday as well, fam. But what stands out to you, man, with this turnaround in the season? Obviously, our defense getting up now to league average with the 2nd best offense is going to mean we're going to continue winning, fam. And obviously, our defense can get a lot better. But I think it starts with Mikal Bridges. He's definitely been a lot better, recently. And I do think that, tonight the mid-range assassin was going tonight, and he had it flaming as well, but so did JB. And of course, we're going to give out the game ball and the grade in a minute as we shout you guys out. Salute Knicks Nation. Smash that like button. We got you covered, Mike and Knicks Nation. And tonight's grade, JB gets the A++ and the game ball. Right. Huge night because, Cat had foul trouble. And this is the first time of the season, really, where Cat was obviously not much of a factor in the ball game, and that's saying a lot about Cat. But obviously Brunson, he understands the moment. He understands what this team needed. And they had him in a straitjacket early. But the fact that he overcame that and showed that, he's an MVP candidate, a 3-level scorer, and the 3-point ball, man, it was just an absolute explosion in that third quarter, man. A 30-10 run as well, which basically pushed the Knicks up, and there was no looking back, after that. And so big shout out to the Cap tonight. He came correct and he had it flowing. Right, let's look at his numbers. Plus 25, he was 13 of 19, 7 of 10 from distance. All 6 free throws were money. 6 assists as well, 2 steals, and 4 turnovers, 39 buckets for the Cap. Almost that 40 piece, but he did what was needed, man. 6 dimes, 39 points. Light work from the captain. He was fouled a lot as well. He should have shot more free throws, especially those ones that had Tom Thibodeau really fired up, man, as he was given that official a mouthful on that one. But yeah, I really think we've turned the corner. Obviously, this is a game where I reckon, 10 games back, we probably would have lost this one, not going to lie, especially in that stretch with, Utah, the bad loss to Chicago, some of those bad losses to Atlanta as well. We didn't let go of the rope with this one, of course, and we willed our way. JB willed us to victory in this one, but he had a lot of friends, man. Before we hit on the next guy, we continue to shout out JB. 3 steals from OG. Like I said, we are now 38-13 with him in the lineup. Karl Anthony Towns still finished with double-digit rebounds despite only playing 27 minutes as well. As I said, Jericho Sims was fantastic. He won the minutes over Precious Achiuwa in this one because the Knicks needed a bit more size. Yves Missy was really giving the Knicks a lot of problems. So not the night for Precious Achiuwa, but Jericho Sims really was really on it defensively, switching. He was deterring shots at the hoop as well, and he finished with 8 rebounds. 4 of them were offensive as well. Salute Troy in the building. We're all buzzing tonight, guys, as the Knicks are now 8 games above 500. We're going to look around the league. It looks like Philadelphia is going to take another loss as well, and the New York Knicks are healthy. Right, we've got some updates for you based on the Westchester Knicks as well. A little preview, but we'll talk about later. But the Knicks, the Westchester G League Knicks, are through to the final of the showcase after winning their semi-final tonight. Man, great reps for Chuma Akiki, TJ Warren, Moses Brown, and Pacome Daddier as well. And Ariel Hukporti finished with 2 blocks in this one. We'll take a look at the numbers later, fam. But tonight, man, the 3-point shooting continues to be our strength. Another night with 40+% from distance, 43% from the field. We had 11 steals, 24 assists, and 50 rebounds. So slightly out-rebounded. Again, the Pelicans were really long in length, and they were able to crash the glass early, especially the physicality element. But I do think, guys, when you're able to be more physical with the Knicks, that's our kryptonite. But when they start to call the game straight, I think that's how we get back into the game, and we make the most of basically the talent that we have. When you're allowed to foul a lot, that gives you an advantage. But I think the refs were a lot better in that second half. With that said, I think the ball movement, once again, 24 assists as a team was really, really solid too. But the 3-point ball from JB, 7 of 10 That is crazy right there. He was shooting from distance, and they weren't able to close out. They weren't even able to get close to him on that one. Obviously, when Cat doesn't have it going, I think that's another pleasing element, fam. Drew says, I love the team. I can't wait till Landry, Shaman, and Mitch get inserted into this rotation. I like that one. Amen, fam. Jazz man, we've got the Raptors up next, and then we've got San Antonio on Christmas Day as well. I'm looking forward to that one as well. Daryl says, Brunson, not tonight, big time. Yep. I think the Cat righted the ship, Johnny, in this one. Especially he was under so much control, picking apart their defense like a surgeon in this one. But yeah, I think like Chance says, character win. I think, really ugly first half, of course, but it's not how you start. It's, of course, how you finish. To not an efficient night from OG offensively. He had a lot of 3-point shots that were open. He wasn't able to hit them. But, as well as Cat as well, quiet night for him. But Bridges, 7 of 16. We're going to talk about him. And of course, the other guys as well. Hart was 6 of 13 as well. And 14 points too. But, we don't win this ball game without the Cap as well. So, much deserved A++ and game ball, man. He is in the spirit tonight. The giving spirit, where he's given buckets to each and every person who's guarding him out here, right? Troy says the Pelicans defense tonight is the best I saw all season. Put JB on a Superman cape. Clearly, the Pelicans do not come out to play every night. Yeah, I said it. They've lost 14 of 15, and I think they definitely came out tonight and wanted to, to pick up a dub. They've lost Zion for a minute now. DeJounte Murray's just come back in the lineup, but of course the Pelicans started well, but they just didn't have enough juice to keep it going, man. That's what separates you from being a championship team, in my opinion. Some nights you just don't have it going, but you got to find a way to get that win. And that's exactly what the New York Knicks did, fam, as well. Gangstar A, TJ Warren. Yeah, I would like to bring him up, man. I'm not going to lie. I think the Knicks could do with a TJ Warren and Landry Shamet as well. Juan Ventura says, go Knicks. Thought they were going to lose early. Down 13, it just didn't look like it was going to be our night. I wasn't willing to throw in the towel yet. But, man, that run was blazing hot. One of the best runs of our season, fam. Latoria says, those refs were horrible tonight. Yeah, I think the Knicks are learning to play through extra physicality. I think that's going to be good for us for the postseason. But I think the refs are definitely, got something on the Knicks, basically allowing extra physicality on that. Jay Giant says, anyone on this team can go off. I like that. A night where Cat doesn't have a going, foul trouble and all, and we still were able to basically dominate, through adversity. You know what? I'm so surprised Tibbs hasn't picked up a tech yet. Can you believe? To my knowledge, I don't think Tibbs has picked up a tech. He wants to keep his money, obviously, right? He's a smart man. But who was the second best Nick for you, fam? Right? Obviously, Brunson stepped it up, guys, but I think Mikal Bridges, let's give him a shout out because I think 3 games solid now, 3 games running. Defensively more so, 2 steals from Midi Bridges tonight, 3 assists, 18 points on a +20, 7 of 16, 3 of 6 from distance. Well, +20 in the box score as well, 18 points, right? Those are borderline all-star numbers, and that's what we traded for, fam. That's what we traded for when it comes to Mikal Bridges. He had a great cut with Josh Hart driving to the basket, leaving his feet again. And of course, Brunson had him, Brunson was there, Bridges was there, had his back as well. And basically the connection, the synergy between those two is excellent. So let's dial up the grade for Mikal Bridges tonight. I thought he's been really solid these last 3 games. And obviously he's been locked in more defensively. Jasmine, what's up? Brunson stepped it up. Jasmine says Bridges becoming more solid, dependable. Right, I like that. I think it's fair to say that he was underachieving, and it's fair to say he was deserving of some criticism. But I think it was also the fact that it was early in the season, And here we are, 28 games in. I think he's found his footing. He's found his rhythm right now with a new team. And as we talk to each other right now, with the Minnesota Timberwolves struggling, man, those guys are the opposite. They haven't found their feet in Minnesota. They got chemistry issues going crazy. But right now, our chemistry is good. Our chemistry is growing right now, and it can get even better. I feel, fam. We didn't get 30 assists tonight, but 24 is solid as well. And obviously, Brunson was in takeover badge tonight, so that was really key, right? But co-star Mikal, that's the kind of Mikal Bridges that we get when Cat doesn't have it going and Brunson needs a sidekick, right? He was the Robin to the Batman tonight, fam. And obviously, Hart and OG were really gritty, but 18 points from Bridges was excellent on efficiency from distance as well. Finding those guys in the corners as well. Our floor spacing is elite right now. Our floor spacing's elite. Sho Khan says the refs call all them lame calls on Cat to end Cat's rebounding streak. And James says solid big man minutes from Jericho. Yeah, I think the game definitely was a tough start, and Jericho was a guy that came in and really, gave the Knicks a spark. No doubt about it. There was one play early where, we were down 10, I think 13, and then, a drive to the basket. Jericho got the steal, and basically the Knicks went on a run after that. Cat was in foul trouble. Precious didn't have it going as well. So we're going to talk about Jericho Sims definitely tonight, give out his flowers. Yep. This was the play where Jericho prevented an easy bucket at the rim, and the Knicks basically pushed ahead with this one, and Bridges for the corner three. But yeah, that vertical on Jericho is serious right there. When he just goes straight up and he doesn't get called for that foul, that's what you need, because we don't give them easy buckets. So shout out to Jericho. Now, next up, let's talk about Hart. How was Hart tonight? I thought Hart was definitely, important handling the rock. They were doubling Brunson a lot. The blitz was coming. Hart's that outlet. And I think 5 assists, 8 rebounds, 14 points, plus 12. Solid night for Jay Hart. Welcome back. We missed you. And hopefully everything's all good. Obviously, he missed the last game due to personal reasons, but Hart back in the lineup and back with 40 minutes in the minutes column tonight. But I mean, what's there not to love about Hart when he's 6 of 13, efficient, and pulling down those rebounds, almost got double digits, and the 14 points, playing his role. The quintessential role player and glue guy for Josh Hart tonight, right? Especially helping the ball handling and being that outlet for JB as well, like I say. So I'm going to give Josh Hart an A- on this one. What do you guys think? James has given Hart a B+. Salute. Buzzer Beater asks, CT, does Mikal play better at a faster pace? No doubt. He's a good transition player, and I think he's thriving when the Knicks are getting transition looks, definitely. And I think him and Hart have that 1-2 connection, kind of like DiVincenzo and Hart used to have as well. This was the sealer with Cat finishing in traffic on Eves Missy, the rookie, saying, "Not right now, Rook. I've got you." And give us the and one. And that was ball game right there with 1:47 to play, fam. Yeah, really pleasing win, I guess, on a night where Cat just wasn't really a factor due to foul trouble. And we have enough, especially with Mikal stepping up the way he is to help JB, right? But yeah, Hart was phenomenal, I thought. Yeah, Paula, Bridges definitely coming into his own, and he's been getting more comfortable. I think that's the main pleasing thing, fam. Yeah, Dwayne, Bridges' defense can be tough. And fighting over screens tonight. But obviously their floor spacing was a problem with Pelicans. They went cold, but the Knicks started switching a lot. You heard Jamal Crawford call on MSG, talk about Tibbs calling out red. Whenever Tibbs calls out red, it means to switch apparently. And I really think that our defense locked in that third quarter, and we didn't give them daylight, definitely. Bridges getting in the passing lanes as well was definitely causing a muck with that. There was a lot of commotion in the crowd, fam. A lot of Knicks fans in the building. Apparently, a fan behind the Knicks bench got ejected a few rows back, um, with a trio of Knicks assistant coaches standing and pointing them out. So, yeah, the crowd was into it tonight, man. No Zion as well. Obviously, he's been out for a minute, and they just can't seem to catch a break with him, right? But speaking of catching a break, OG Anunoby, 38 and 13 with this ball club, man. That is a winning player personified, right? And I know the offense has started to come down a little bit. It's definitely started to come back down to earth for OG. He's getting really good looks in this offense, but I'm not complaining because we're still, the top two offense in the NBA. But 37 minutes tonight, he got 3 steals, 16 points, with 2 assists, 5 rebounds. Was 2 of 8, though, like I said, was cold from 3, and 6 of 17. However, OG was driving and definitely trying to get into the teeth of the defense and get them into foul trouble as well. So I like OG's aggression, right? Um, he's a man among boys down there, is OG, especially when he can get up vertical under the bucket and he gets that put back slam. Um, I like OG's offensive game. It's a bit understated, but obviously, he's not just a 3-point shooter. He can put the ball on the floor. He's not going to, do no crazy hezzy moves or crossovers, but, he's strong getting to his spots. He's got the mid range. He's got a little step back as well. He knows how to get separation. So yeah, but more from the defensive side from our wing stop, man, tonight. OG and Mikal, 3 steals for OG, 2 steals for Bridges as well, fam. 11 as a team. So let's give out the grade for OG and Anunoby. And I'm going to give a little bit more of a spike in this one for OG tonight. He's going to get the B plus, but also because we are 38 and 13 now, and he just finds a way to help this team win. Man, even when he's not scoring, he finds ways to help this team out, man. He's the perfect team player, man. The guy that you pick up in the park to help you get that win. Sandman says, "What up, CT? I caught myself thinking that Tibbs should have used that big lineup against the Pels with Precious in the starting lineup. Eves Missy gave us some problems, and Mitch can't come back soon enough." Yeah, I think I was watching Huck Porty earlier in the G League. Yeah, he had a good game, and we obviously saw Jericho play good tonight as well. Precious can struggle against that bigger size, and so I think Mitch is going to be a big factor in this season, provided that he's healthy. Obviously, when he's back, but obviously he's going to be back before the trade deadline, so the Knicks are going to have ample time to really figure out what they might need. They might feel like they're good at the big man, and they might feel like we just need another wing, right? We saw a lot of wings in action tonight, man. What did you guys think of Herb Jones and Trey Murphy, right? I think they did their stock no harm on the trade block, fam, because they really played some strong defense. But when the refs started to tighten the whistle, they did get a little bit undisciplined with that one. Shez V, who's played more games, less so far, Ben Simmons or Zion? And it's the best of a bad bunch right now, man. I would still take Zion over Ben Simmons because when he is healthy, he's a athletic freak. I just think Ben Simmons has just lost all his basketball ability, obviously due to some injuries, some of it mental as well. Got the back injury as well. But yeah, man, Herb Jones was out to prove a point tonight, fam. Salute Vincent, good to see you. Hidalgo. Precious and Sims played great. OG is outstanding. Mikal sizzles and Brunson turned on the burners. Great win. Yeah, great comment, guys. You guys are on fire tonight in MVP mode. Now let's talk about Cat, right? Because there was some foul trouble, but I did feel like the refs were bugging in that first half, right? But obviously that third foul was the killer because that meant that he had to sit for at least like a huge stretch. 27 minutes tonight from Cat, though did have that big and one late to finish the game, 11 points, still finished 10 rebounds, 4 assists as well, and still finished in the plus, although being +1, I'll take it, fam, in this one. Look, you can't have it going every night. I mean, Cat was probably due for a downer night. You know, I think he's been the best New York Knick, offensively especially. And with that said, like I said, the most pleasing thing tonight was, we got it done without him. We figured out ways because, Willie Green was throwing a glitch in the matrix, man. He was throwing us zone, he was throwing us blitz, he was, throwing extra length and size on JB. Obviously, the rim runner and Eves Missy, who's a huge, a guy with length. And I think the Knicks just overcame all of that with ball movement and just smart, intelligent play, finding the open man, finding the cutters. But I think we buckled down defensively. We got the stops, and then we started to run. That's what pushed the Pelicans back on their heels, which was key because they were up on their toes into us. And I think we had to get them back on their heels, to start get some easier buckets with that. So for Cat's grade, I mean, I know there's been some foul trouble. He still did some things in his minutes that were on the positive as well. So I'm going to go B- for the big bodega. What do you guys think on this one? Give us your grades. But also, thanks for Buzzer Beater mentioning it in the chat as well. It's World Basketball Day. Apparently today is the day the game of basketball was invented by James Naismith as well. So for us, man, we're grateful. We salute to that as well. Salute one another. But also today is All-Star Voting Day. Your votes count triple for that. So get your votes in. I'm going to drop the link in the chat again, but it's in the comment section right now. Votes count triple, fam. So click that link and get on it and get these guys into the All-Star game. No doubt Cat's going to be there. JB's going to be there as well, fam. Building blocks also letting us know Cat still has a double-double as well. Yep. Still finding ways to get it done, man. He's just a microwave production in a limited amount of minutes with this one, fam. So let's give a grade to Tibbs now, and let's talk about Sims and our bench, right? Look, first half, mixed bag. Obviously, when Tibbs got that timeout, after that, the Knicks came correct, especially after halftime, falling into that hole, and then the timeout, and things changed, man. Brunson just hit that switch as well, and we got stops. We buckled down. So I'm going to go for Tibbs. I'm going to give Tibbs a grade of a B. In this one, we got the job done, and we move on, and we face the Raptors on Monday as well. And then we've got the Christmas Day clash against a huge Wembanyama in form right now. Can't wait for that matchup too. With these refs, Jasmine, I know they're going to start calling it like this in the playoffs. So I think, yeah, the Knicks will be seasoned, I think, when it comes to that. But the Cat passing game helps our offense so much, man. I can't speak highly enough of Cat's game, man. 4 assists in 27 minutes at the center spot. I think it's fair to say he is a better passer than Isaiah Hartenstein was, and a lot of people felt that we were going to miss Isaiah's passing as well as the rebounding, obviously. But having Cat now, I mean, there's levels to this. His passing ability is just, awesome. And obviously with our cutters and our shooters right now, it's no surprise that we have the second best offense in the league, right? For those that have missed it, these are the numbers for our New York Knicks through 27 games before tonight's game, right? We're 5th in the league in net rating at 7.3. That basically means we're winning games on average of 7.3 more than our opponents. Offensive rating now, we're up to 120. points per game and second in the NBA right now. Cleveland is number one at 120.5. So we're only 0.4 off Cleveland for that number one spot right now. Our defense is moving up to league average 15th, allowing 112. So, that's moving up. That's getting better. Our 3-point defense is getting better as well. We're 17th in the league, allowing 36%. Our 2-point defense is pretty good for supposedly a team without a rim protector. We are 12th in the league at allowing 2-point field goals, 46%. But we are still slow in pace. We have moved up in possessions though, so we are moving up with our pace, and we're 21st in possessions, second in the league in 3-point shooting, which is excellent, almost 40% as well tonight, above that once again. But we're only 20th in 3-point attempts with 36, and we're 27th in free throws attempted as well. So yeah, the NBA and the officials not getting us these fouls, these whistles that we need, right? As we move towards the bench now and give these guys their grades, continue to shout you guys out, smash that like button. You've got the Knicks streets buzzing. I think the Knicks are going to have a nice headache in terms of decisions to make over some roster moves coming up, fam. Out of these guys in Westchester, who's caught your eye? I think Chuma Okeke's been playing well tonight. Wasn't as efficient, but defensively, he's stout, right? TJ Warren continues to play well, 17 points today. We had Landry Shamet in his 5th game back as well, put 12 points, 3 of 4 from the field. And obviously Ariel Hukporti, man, finished 4 of 6, 8 points with 2 blocks, 7 rebounds from Ariel Hukporti. So yeah, I like TJ Warren. I like Landry Shamet. I think the Knicks are going to start to strengthen their roster even further, man, as trade season continues, right? Tibbs gets a B from Jazz, man. Yeah, I could see that. Also, Buzzer Beater agrees. Didn't like the first half. I think we were taking it easy, I will say. Definitely. Jay Dragon says it was good to see Cat not play so many minutes and still get the still get the win. Yeah, amen to that. Salute. Yeah, I think TJ Warren's a player that could help us in the postseason. Obviously, that 3-point shooting is great. Deuce McBride didn't have a great game tonight offensively, but let's talk about Jericho Sims first up, fam, because I mean he's copped some criticism and obviously he's had some bumps along the way, but this is one of the games where you could say that Jericho Sims off the bench was our most impactful player, right, in terms of change in the ball game, right, defensively, protecting the rim, and using his size, physicality to set good screens, and switching on the perimeter as well. Jericho finished with no points, right, but so impactful defensively with 8 rebounds, 4 offensive, and a steal and an assist as well. Picked up 3 fouls, but plus 17 in the box score, man, in 12 minutes. So remember what I said last show. Anytime that you are higher in plus minus more than your minutes, it just shows how impactful you were, man. And so, yeah, I think he deserves a great shout out tonight, does Jericho Sims. Obviously, I would have preferred us to keep Hukporti with the main club for now, but he's getting some G League reps. Because, yeah, there was some foul trouble. If another big got injured, it's always good to have another big on the bench. But, I can't really question what the Knicks are doing. They know what they're doing. With Jericho Sims tonight, man, flat out, he deserves an A for me, right? For a player that doesn't score a point, but was still plus 17 in the box score with 8 rebounds and 4 offensive. So shout out. Mitch will be proud of him, and Isaiah Hartenstein will be proud of him as well tonight. A lot of presence in the middle, says James, with the rebounding. Yep. Most def. Big Dave says, I like how we didn't allow the refs to take our win. I like that. Amen. I like that. AP says Minnesota's catching hell. Looks like they're about to lose again. Yeah. Tough situation for them. Evacardi says they made it seem worse than it was. We won 2 quarters and tied it in the first. The one we lost was only by 4 points. Yeah, I guess when you're looking at the quarter by quarter stretches, it doesn't look as bad. But yeah, getting down 13 in that third was really tricky too. And like Johnny says, the Cats foul calls were bogus too. But I think these guys can improve personally verticality. I think they can definitely improve just by not even putting it in the refs in that situation to make a foul call. You know, I think the NBA is at the point now where if you're going to give up a bucket, you're going to give up a bucket. Just go put your hands up and don't get caught in the cookie jar. And a 2-pointer is always better than a 3-pointer in my opinion. The way the game is going, the way these teams are shooting on everyone, and that is really important to just be disciplined. Um, Often you can pick up losses by self-infliction. If you give the other team easy buckets and you give them foul shots, I mean that can make life a hell of a lot tougher for you, especially when you're trying to make a comeback as well, and the clock keeps stopping, right? But yeah, like Sandman says, a down night for Deuce, a down night from Payne, right? But we didn't really need those guys as much, right? We needed the warm body, we needed the minutes. So yeah, Deuce was 1 of 6, 2 points, -10. Precious Achua, 1 of 4 from the field, although 7 rebounds, 5 offensive, was solid. All right. But yeah, size-wise, we were in a hole with the the size that the Pelicans had and establishing their dominance on the glass. We had to make a switch up. But Precious was -13, Payne -14 as well. So Tibbs went with the hot hands tonight. Bridges had to play 45 minutes. Hart had to play 41. So look, not ideal, man, not ideal at all. But we got the win, and we move on for that. So going to give out these grades rapid fire for these guys off the bench, right? Let me give Precious Achua a C+, because I did like the rebounding still. Let me give Deuce McBride a C on that one. And I'll also give Cameron Payne the same grade as Deuce with the C as well. So, but we got the job done. No Tyler Kolek. Obviously, the G League guys are getting solid reps, but Kolek was with the big club tonight, but he didn't get in the ball game. Didn't get in the ball game for that. Brightest Future says veteran poise. We definitely need that. We definitely need it. So yeah, salute to these guys. Now, let's talk a bit about the NBA and what's happening around the league, and shout out these New York Knicks. There's more big men on the market as well. Looks like Duop Reith is being spoken about in trades from the Portland Trailblazers as well. He's out of the rotation too. Coming into tonight, Mikal Bridges, over his last 8 games, is averaging 22 points, 58% from the field, 43 from 3, with 3.5 assists, 3.3 boards, 1 steal, and a +16 in net rating, man. So that is proof, that's not us making things up. Mikal Bridges is on the way up, fam. He's trending up the way we want to see, right? So, got to give him credit. He's fought back, and he's obviously got a lot of criticism early, but yeah, he's really starting to play consistent basketball for us. So only great news for our squad, man, as we're 8 games above 500, a season best, 8 games above, with the Raptors coming up, and then we've got the Spurs, right? And then we have Orlando, Washington, and Washington. So let's make a prediction right now. With the Raps Spurs, Orlando, and Washington twice. I'm going to say Toronto's a dub. San Antonio's a dub. Orlando is away in Florida again. Obviously, no Paolo Banchero for that one, though. No Franz Wagner, right? And then Washington, man. So let's stack these dubs up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to say that the New York Knicks are going to be 23-10. That's right. We're not going to lose another ball game for the rest of the new year, right? The rest of this year. Salute to that. What do you guys think? 23-10, right? What a start, man. We would have gone from a kind of a slower start to being really where we need to be, where I expected us to be, 13 games above 500, man. And with that said, as I switch over to the standings, right? The New York Knicks are now 18-10, and we are 10-6 on the road. So salute to that. We're 8-2 in our last 10 on a 3-game winning streak as well. We're only 4 games back of the Boston Celtics, which is quite remarkable when you look at it. If you give us 4 wins that we didn't deserve to, we didn't deserve to drop, which I think, you know, some of those ones were one of the Hawks games, the Bulls, one of the Rockets games as well. There's so many, man. We could be right there with Boston. We could have been 22-6 easily. But we keep it moving. We're healthy, and we're only going to get stronger, man. We've got 2 games on the Magic in the loss column. Same with the Bucks. We're 3 games up on the Heat in the loss column, and obviously 5 up on the Hawks too. Now today's action, right? Minnesota went down again, man. There's a lot of tensions, a lot of chemistry issues going on in Minnesota right now, man. We witnessed that firsthand in the last game. Tonight they lost to the Warriors. Celtics picked up a win over the Bulls. Cleveland smacked the Sixers as well. And the Hawks picked up a big loss as well for us. So that's great too. And obviously Miami took a loss as well to the Magic, right? So we're going to see them real soon coming up again, right? But we got their number. Building blocks, yep. Appreciate you for the love. Hit that like button, fam. Let's get it, guys. What's good? Knicks 26 champs. Buzzer says 23-10 sounds good to me. Man, thumbs up for that. Now, obviously, there's a chance there's a letdown game. You know, 5 games. If we keep this thing rolling, man, we'll be on an 8-game winning streak. But if we're just looking at it on paper, we definitely should win the next 5. You know, Washington, they're both at MSG. Sorry, they're both in Washington. They're both on the road for that one. But the Raptors and the Spurs we see at MSG as well, which is going to be huge to keep this train rolling, fam. The Spurs, Wembanyama played well tonight, right? Paula says, let's not overlook anyone. I like that mindset. I like it. We are human, you know, and obviously we need our guys to be consistent defensively. I think that's the big story for us now. We've been kind of top number 1, number 2 for a minute now offensively. But defensively, if we can hang our hat on a top 10 defense with a top 2 offense, that's where we're going to enter, I think, championship contention level, you know, in terms of, you know, being up there with Boston and matching it with them, right? And so, yeah, to be 15th in defense right now, I think is a big win. But obviously, when Mitch gets back, I think that might go to another level. Credit to Cat for really, you know, pulling his shorts up and really buckling down on the defensive end. And same with Mikal Bridges. And obviously, OG and Hart have been excellent on the defensive side this season too. As I pull up this efficiency landscape as well, you can kind of see where the Knicks are on the graph compared to these other teams. This is just after the last 10 games. Um, the Knicks plus 11 on offense, plus 4 net, and plus 4 on defense on that in the last 10 ball games. So yeah, what stands out to you guys the most in this stretch? I like this high-low action from Hart to OG. I think unselfish play is the mantra of this team right now. I think we've been searching for an identity for quite a while, and we're at the point now where I think passing ball, unselfish ball movement is this team's identity, right? If you're open, we'll find you, and obviously if you get in the right position, JB will find you as well. Too, and we know how much he can score the basketball. Jazzman, yeah, we're going to keep the foot on the gas. Let's keep going. Let's not overlook anyone. But I mean, man, if we're 23-10, that's on pace for a 55 plus win season. I predict 55, by the way. I'll settle for 50, but I think 55 is really going to have us in that second seed. We'd be unlucky to finish third, I think, with 55 wins. But obviously, look, Cleveland's off to a great start. You've got Boston right there as well, 4 games up. But look, they're going to hit some turbulence. I do think, Boston's been healthy for the most part. And obviously, Spider Mitchell and Garland haven't missed much time with Cleveland. So for them, an injury can change things real quick. But for us, we can win ball games without one or two of our best players because of our depth. I think that's the biggest thing. And I guess another positive, guys, is the fact that we're in a pretty situation. We can play it cool with Mitchell Robinson. We don't have to force him back early. We don't have to rush him into this lineup, right? Take all the time he needs, just so that when he gets back, he's good to go and he doesn't have to miss any time. I think that's the most, important thing to play out right now. Let's not force Mitch back early, even if it is early February. If we are, 15 games over 500, I think as long as he gets solid reps before the, the playoffs, I'll be okay with that. Brightest Future says it's nice to win in unconventional ways as well. I think, yeah, it's just going to happen by nature. I think as the season goes, 82 games, you're going to face different looks. And I think the blueprint is definitely out on how to slow us down, right? Not going to lie, be physical, use length. And obviously you got to out rebound us as well. But the fact that Cat's been so good rebounding and the fact that we're moving the ball, 25 plus assists a night with 40% 3-point shooting on the season, I mean, that's excellent. And for anyone that had concerns over the starting 5 with floor spacing, specifically with Josh Hart, I mean, the fact that Hart's shooting the 3 ball at a good rate has really, been a blessing for our starting 5, and especially he's getting good looks with the ball movement. When you have these 5 guys on the court, I think, the looks that you're going to get are going to be good looks. They're not going to be ones where, you're having to force shots and all of those things like we saw the Pelicans tonight, is that they just don't have the talent. At the end of the day, the more talent you got, the easier it's going to be for, for all 5 guys out on the court, especially when the chemistry is, getting built stronger and the tendencies these guys know with the cutting and the ball movement. I like what Barkley had to say the other night too, Buzzer. Yeah, Charles Barkley, previously had been a Nick hater, but he does like this team's ceiling. And Charles does think we're the second best team in the East right now, above Cleveland. Well, so he sees it. He sees the vision, man. Steve, Merry Christmas to you and festive blessings to everyone. My Knicks are on fire, says Steve. AP says second best of Cleveland or second best to Boston. Yeah, second best to Boston, fam. Charles thinks we're better than Cleveland, and I have to agree. I think regular season standings can be, a bit misleading. I think you can get on a good run, but no doubt, Cleveland's talented. I think we match up really well against them, though. I really think we match up really well against them, right? Um, just going to bring this up defensively, right? At one point in this ball game, the Pelicans went 9 straight trips without scoring, but still led the New York Knicks. That was until Jalen Brunson, man, took over. Um, so that was, yeah, really important that we started to find our rhythm, because we were getting stops, but we just couldn't, put points on the board, right? And basically Brunson, showed why he's an all-star in this one. He showed the world with this one, 39 points on a heater. And look, what have I continued to say about Jalen Brunson with the 3-point shot specifically? That opens up his game like nothing else, right? Because the drive game, right, you can't play him tight like that. Otherwise, he's just going to drive like this, and he's just going to get the floater. He's going to get into the paint, right? But then when you do sag back, he's going to pop the 3 ball in your face. So that's what's really key. The other thing that's key is Brunson wasn't hesitating. When he over dribbles, man, we all know it can get frustrating, and we all know that it can bog our defense down with some over dribbling at times. That's why I like this Brunson when he makes quick decisions. Either he shoots the 3 or he drives and kicks as well. When he dribbles around and drives into traffic, that's when the other team generally gets turnovers on us. But yeah, like Buzzer was saying, man, coast to coast, Mikal Bridges does get good looks in a transition offense. Obviously, he's a great corner spacer, but hard as well, getting to the rack right there. He knows, he smells blood in the water with this one, especially with Hart's ability to handle the ball. I mentioned the Knicks are going to have a decision to make over personnel. Would you keep Hart in the starting lineup even when Mitch gets back? I think there's a case to make that you keep everything the same and you bring Mitch off the bench, because I think taking Hart out of the starting 5, you're going to lose, you're going to gain some things, but you're going to lose some other things as well. I think he's a good outlet for JB handling the rock with that. Jasmine D says, bring on the Celtics, we're better. It's amazing that we're only 4 games back, especially after our slower start. But yeah, we are, I think, on pace to meet them in the 3rd round. I think it's going to happen, man. Merry Christmas to you and everyone out here. Obviously, out west, I think Oklahoma are legit. They are tough. Minnesota, not so much anymore now. I think they've definitely lost their identity and haven't found a new identity. You see, the Knicks changed their identity, but we found our identity now. We found it. Just be good on defense, solid enough, and obviously our amazing offense and our ball movement is what's keeping us where we're at. 8 games over 500. But obviously the stars of the 2 teams, specifically Minnesota with Ant-Man, he's a dynamite isolation scorer. Jalen Brunson can be that, but he doesn't have to be that, you see. Ant-Man, he has to be that. If Ant-Man ain't that dynamic ISO scorer, what else is he? That's who he is. But the reason why I still choose Jalen Brunson over somebody like Ant-Man is because Brunson is everything you need, whatever it is. It's a leader. It's a point guard that can get 10 dimes. It's another great isolation scorer. Obviously, he's not as big as Ant-Man or dynamic and athletic, but he can still be that go-to scorer, as well as he can be, a point guard, facilitator, and he can be a guy that spaces the floor out in the corner as well, off ball. So he can do everything that Ant-Man can do and more. And so I think you take Cat off Minnesota and you bring him to New York, we're more dynamic than the Minnesota Timberwolves, used to be. And then obviously now they got Randall and DiVincenzo that, have been up and down. DiVincenzo, hasn't been able to, replicate last year's success. And Julius Randle's had some ups and downs as well, right? Right now, the Knicks are in a great position. that trade was a great thing for the Knicks' future. We are building in the right situation now. I think you add a couple of extra depth pieces and let's go. Let's go to war with these guys. A little bit more grittiness and toughness, I think, would help us out. In terms of some bench players and some depth. But I think our starting five is kind of set right now. And Cat's proving a lot of doubters wrong in terms of his toughness, rebounding, leading the league, and just maturing. I think we're seeing a more mature Karl Anthony Towns than we were in Minnesota. Right, Minnesota, he was, I guess, like I said, he was the senior player. And right now he's got Jalen Brunson now in the locker room who can kind of, be that partner for him. And those guys, help each other, keep each other in check, and basically, big each other up. So I think it's a great dynamic duo, man. I think this is going to go down as one of the best Knick duos in terms of if you're just a 2-on-2 fanatic, man, NBA Jam style. I think if the Knicks could choose Karl Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson to be an NBA Jam, man, I would love to play that right now among the great Knick duos of the past with Starks and Ewing, obviously Clyde and Pearl. So many, man. What are some of your favorite Knick duos? Let us know. Jazzman NYC, Brunson will lead us to the promised land. I think he will. I think we'll get one, man. I think we'll get one. Hopefully we get more than one, but I do think we'll get one. I think this is a multi-year kind of project, they say, and this is a situation where we shuffle the decks with the trade, and I think these guys are finding their roles within the team. Cameron Payne's come in, he's new. Precious Achiuwa still fairly new, hasn't played a full season with the Knicks yet. Neither is OG. But yeah, everything's really starting to gel on this one. Steve says, we're one big Knick community. Much love. Salute to you as well. And many blessings to you and family. We certainly are, man. Worldwide family with this thing. It's been a long time. But yeah, it's extremely high IQ team, brightest future. I think, yeah, these guys are really come to that right age. They're maturing, 28, 29, Hart's 30 soon. I think it's that perfect age where the Knicks window is definitely open now. Things just got to break right. You need a little bit of luck. You need a little bit of a kick up the backside sometimes. You need, to grit some of these wins out and to start believing. But I do think by the time the playoffs come, I think this team is really going to believe that they can get it done, right? And let's not forget, we've only played Boston once on the very beginning of the season, opening night. We're going to get to play Boston 3 more times before the playoffs hit. And that's going to be big. That's going to be big for us. And obviously getting that practice in as well. Scheme versus scheme on that. So yeah, like I said, vote if you can. Get out there, vote, click the link, and vote for these all-stars. Right, I'll put the link in the chat right now because votes count 3 times for today. Let's get these guys to the all-star game. 3-in-1 voting day today. I've voted already, and let's get it, Knicks Nation. Too. It's been a big time couple of days. The Knicks squad is more rested as well. We'll get a day's rest before we play the Raps. And then, of course, Christmas Day. All eyes on the Spurs versus Knicks, opening the Christmas slate. That's going to be buzzing. You already know that our guys want to show out on the national media stage with that one. Cat MVP conversation, our top 5 in the MVP. Jalen Brunson says, don't forget about me today as well. And OG Anunoby, Josh Hart, Mikal Bridges are going to love that stage as well. OG didn't play Christmas last year as well, right? Obviously, he wasn't with the Knicks. Mikal Bridges ain't used to playing on Christmas either. And Josh Hart is starting to get used to it now since he became a New York Knick, right? So yeah, all you got to do is just click that link, fam, to vote. I'll put it in the chat, and that link will take you directly to a pre-selection of all Knicks players, and all you got to do is just hit the submit button, and voila, you voted for the New York Knicks on this one. Right, so let's get it, everyone. Peace, blessings, and I'll see you on Monday. Let's go Knicks.